It started as a routine inspection, a minor electrical update, something most homes built before the 80s eventually need. But Graceland isn't just any home. It's a shrine, a fortress of memory, a place where time itself seems to hesitate. When the maintenance crew pulled away a modest wall panel in one of the staff corridors, they expected wiring, maybe a pipe. What they found instead was a narrow passage, sealed in such a way that even longtime estate workers admitted they had never seen or heard of it before. And at the end of that passage, a door. Heavy, wooden, locked, but not impenetrable. After 48 years, Graceland had given up a secret it had kept from the world since Elvis Presley took his final breath upstairs in 1977. Graceland has always been shrouded in both admiration and mystery. Set on a 14-acre estate in Memphis, Tennessee, it draws nearly 500,000 fans annually, second only to the White House in U.S. home tourism. It's not just the decor or the memorabilia that captivate visitors. It's the air of reverence, of walking the same halls where Elvis lived, laughed, and ultimately died. For years, the upstairs level of Graceland, Elvis's personal sanctuary, has been strictly off-limits. Tour guides skip it. Photographers are barred. Even presidents, including Bill Clinton, have been turned away. The lore surrounding these sealed rooms has fed endless fan theories. Were there secret journals? Hidden recordings? A vault of unreleased music? Every velvet rope, every locked door seemed to whisper the same thing. There is more here than the world knows. And now, with the discovery of this previously unknown room, that whisper has become a roar. According to those close to the estate, the discovery occurred quietly. There was no press release, no fanfare, just a tight-lipped crew and a handful of Presley family representatives staring at a space that hadn't been touched in decades. The room was hidden behind a wall that appeared to be part of the original architecture. Not a hasty add-on, but something intentional. Perhaps something designed by Elvis himself. When the lock was breached, it opened onto a space blanketed in dust, but eerily preserved. A single lamp, unplugged. A record player draped in plastic. On one side, a small writing desk scattered with yellowed scraps of paper. But the most striking feature was the sense of silence. A thick, almost sacred stillness that clung to every object. The air inside was colder than the rest of the mansion, untouched by modern ventilation. As if time had exhaled in 1977 and never breathed in again. No cameras were allowed. The estate has neither confirmed nor denied the discovery, but a quiet storm of rumors has already begun spreading online, fueled by those claiming inside access and others who simply refuse to believe this was an accident. What was found inside the chamber has become the heart of the mystery. Those close to the discovery describe objects that range from intimate to otherworldly. Among the dust-covered items were multiple handwritten pages. Lyrics? Letters? No one will say for sure. Some appear to have been drafts of songs never released. Others are harder to classify. Ramblings, maybe. Personal thoughts. There's mention of dream machines, sleepless roads, and cryptic phrases like the Second Kingdom. Alongside the desk was a locked chest, rumored to contain reel-to-reel audio tapes, possibly private recordings of Elvis experimenting with unpolished music or thoughts captured late at night. More curious still was a worn Bible, heavily annotated with markings about loss, guilt, and fate. Elvis had always been spiritual, but these notes suggest a depth of searching few fans ever imagined. There were photographs too, some of friends, some of family, and a few of unfamiliar faces. One framed image showed a much older man standing at the gates of Graceland, the photo undated, the identity unknown. But above all, the room felt like it was designed for one person, and one person only. No signs of a guest chair, no dual setups, just Elvis, and whatever thoughts he'd chosen to leave behind in this hidden sanctuary. The deeper significance of the room goes beyond its contents. What it reveals, or perhaps what it carefully withholds, is a glimpse into Elvis's private mind. The man who filled stadiums, who defined a genre and an era, also wrestled with solitude. Those close to him described how he'd wander the house at night, often pacing, playing gospel records, or diving into books on mysticism and philosophy. He was not merely avoiding sleep. He was searching. For what? We may never know. This room may have been his final canvas, a place to draft the version of himself that no spotlight ever saw. Some suggest it was a fallback recording space. Others argue it was built as an emotional refuge during a period of deep personal turmoil. Whatever the case, it's now clear that Elvis was preparing something, whether for release or for remembrance, that he never got to share. The fact that he never told anyone about the room only heightens its impact. It wasn't meant for the fans. It wasn't meant for history. It was meant for him, and maybe, just maybe, for the people he hoped would one day understand him better. Since news of the room leaked, online forums have erupted with theories. Some say the estate knew all along and kept it hidden to protect Elvis's legacy. Others speculate that the room might contain unreleased material that could challenge our understanding of the man himself. Music that hinted at a new direction, personal writings that contradicted public narratives, even clues to alleged offspring or secret spiritual beliefs. One theory suggests that the room was sealed not because of what it contains, but because of what it represents. Elvis's surrender, a moment when the king of rock and roll laid down his crown and simply tried to be human. Yet despite growing pressure, the Presley estate has remained tight-lipped. No statements, no confirmations, just silence, the same kind that filled the room for nearly half a century. And perhaps that silence is the point. Maybe some parts of history are meant to remain sacred. Maybe the power of Elvis's legacy lies not in what we uncover, but in what we choose to preserve. In a world that overshares, that strips every moment bare for content, perhaps this room is one final boundary, the line between the myth of Elvis and the man who lived behind the music. We've celebrated his stage presence, his vocals, his charisma, but what about his silence? What about the parts of him that never made it to the microphone? This room, untouched and unknown until now, is a reminder that even legends need places to hide. Not because they are ashamed, but because they are human. So the doors of Graceland may never open wide enough to let us all inside that secret space. The estate may choose to wall it back up, to deny its existence, to protect what little mystery remains. And maybe that's exactly how he wanted it. If you found this story as compelling as we did, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow fans of Elvis and music history. Let us know in the comments. What do you think was in that room? And should it ever be revealed to the world?